Revisiting this topic for just a moment, the sequester is automatic. The law has been passed. It's going to happen unless other action is taken. Question for either of you. Ms. Epic, you'll go first, I guess. Are you saying that you support $1.2 trillion in tax increases, or some combination of tax increases and spending cuts? And for Congressman Flashman, are you saying that you will not support any tax increases unless you can have $1.2 trillion in spending cuts?
I support a combination of cuts and increases, and you have to look long and hard for those cuts. As you know, we are still in Afghanistan. We are still spending an outrageous amount of money in our military activities around the world, and those need to be reduced. Our military has told us over and over again that they want a smaller, smarter military with more special ops. Let's listen to them instead of doing what my opponent did, was to say let's cut these discretionary programs and give more money to the Defense Department than they wanted, while the generals say, no, we don't need that money. Let's look long and hard at our defense budget and stop paying cost plus, which is what we do in our subcontracts, and instead start looking periodically over and over again at those contracts and try to make sure that we get good value. We have heard a discussion of what really amounts to Greek, Portuguese, Italian, Spanish austerity. The United States has not implemented an austerity program, and we have not been hit as hard by this recession as those countries that have implemented the austerity programs. There is a difference between being frugal and following an austerity program. We need to be frugal, we need to tax fairly, we need to reduce some spending, we need to increase some taxation, and we need to get a better balance. We are not going to balance our budget quickly. We are coming out of a great recession. You don't pay for your house in the first year. So we have to do it gradually and not in a way that has further harm to the working families, either of Tennessee or our nation.
As most of you all know, I am the sitting congressman, and when I had the opportunity to vote for or against the sequester, I voted against it. And the reason why is because that panel of 12, if they were to fail and not reach an agreement, and they did not, was going to allow cuts, as the way that the bill was set out, to fall on largely two areas. Two areas where I feel we could not sustain cuts. The first was defense. Now, Dr. Hedrick, you and I disagree, but I will not tell the greatest fighting force the world has ever seen, and the men and women who defend our country, that I am going to cut them any further. We're spread too thin. It's a dangerous world. Just look at the Middle East. We need to bolster the United States Armed Forces, honor them, protect our veterans rights, and make sure that our men and women who are defending our country have the very best. I will not retreat from that. The other area was Medicare that was going to take cuts in this bill. And as we know, Medicare left by itself, under CEO figures, not Republican or Democratic figures, will go bankrupt within 9 to 13 years. So we need to reform Medicare, not cut Medicare. My solution to this is look for cuts elsewhere. There is so much waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal budget. I have seen dollars squandered away by federal agencies that make me sick every day. These are borrowed dollars. These are not even tax dollars. These are borrowed dollars. How much more time do I have? 15 seconds. I'll say the story for y'all about what I actually saw in the Congressional Committee, and $500 million just frittered away like it was nothing because the federal agency didn't do its job. I was outraged. You should be outraged. It's not a taxing situation. It's a spending problem we have in America. And I promise to fight that spending problem every day I'm there.